So with the recent launch of the Kobo Libra color and the Kobo Clara color, it feels like color is the new trend in the world of book tech. But if you ask me, I really do think the Clara black and white edition is the best option for most people. Now look, if you do primarily read comics or graphic novels or manga, then yeah, I do think a color reader would be a good option for you. But I would bet good money that the majority of people would be just fine with the black and white e-reader. In today's video, I'm going to make my case for why I think the Clara black and white is the best Kobo you can buy for reading right now and give you all the details you have to know before you make your purchase. Let's dive into it. Out of all the new Kobos that came out last month, the black and white Clara is the cheapest one at a price of $129 US, which is actually a tad bit cheaper than the Kindle Paperwhite. Now don't be fooled just because the price is cheap. It actually has almost all the same functionality as every other Kobo. And again, at the end of the day, what matters is having a good device for reading, and the Clara black and white is great for that. Just like the other new Kobos, the Clara black and white has a water resistant design, which is really handy for a lot of people who like to read on the beach or in the bath, for example. Another selling feature of this device that's the same as all the other Kobos is the ability to have adjustable warm light, which is really great for reading at night, and you also have dark mode available as well. Another staple feature of the Kobo ecosystem that is still here on the Clara black and white is overdrive integration, so you can easily borrow library books directly on the device, which is a really great feature for a lot of people. And of course, just like all the other new Kobos, this device also has audiobook support via Bluetooth, so you can sync up some headphones or Bluetooth speakers and listen to audiobooks directly on the device. When it comes down to it, I think there are only three major features that are missing on the black and white Clara. The first one, again, is very obvious. There is no color on this Clara. The second missing feature is not having any compatibility for a stylus, so you cannot take handwritten notes on this device, which I don't think is a big deal for a lot of people. Again, this device is meant for reading. And the third missing feature of the Clara black and white, and actually also the Clara color, is that both of these Claras do not have support for Google Drive or Dropbox. As much as I love the Clara black and white, there is one annoyance I have with it. But before I talk about that, I just want to emphasize one more time that what matters at the end of the day is being able to read books. All of these features and all these different devices are just a tool to help us do that. Something that's really helped me read more books and have some extra accountability is being part of a book club. I actually have my own nonfiction book club where I read a new nonfiction book every single month with a community of over 1,000 bookworms from around the world. It's been a really wholesome experience getting to talk to new people who also like to read the same types of books that I do. If this sounds interesting to you, link down below in the description for the book club. It's completely free to join. Now, like I was saying, I do have one annoyance with the Clara black and white, and that is the overall build quality of this device. This new Clara is being built with recycled plastics, and I think that's an amazing thing. I have no complaints about that whatsoever. But when you compare this device to the previous model of the Clara, you'll see a decrease in premiumness when you hold it. The old Clara 2E, which is the previous generation of the Clara, is also built of recycled plastics, but that device just looks and feels a bit nicer. The back of the device had this blue finish to it, which was really cool, and the front of the device on the bezels had this glossy black look to it, which made it look a lot more premium. Now, in terms of functionality, the device is exactly the same, but from the look and feel of it, it does feel a little less premium compared to before, and I don't know why that happened because both devices are made from the same recycled plastics. On the new Clara black and white, the back of the device has this matte black finish, and on the front of the device, you also have this matte design. So again, it just looks a bit more plasticky, which I don't really like. I kind of wish they just kept the old design. Now, putting the lack of premiumness aside, there is one huge selling point that I want to make sure I mention, and that is the fact that this exterior shell is self-repairable. If you go to Kobo's website, you're going to see this new partnership they have with a company called iFixit. They're actually letting you repair this device on your own for common things like replacing the battery or replacing the plastic shell. These kind of repairs can really extend the life of your Kobo by a long time, and these devices already last for a very long time to begin with, so the fact that you can replace the screen or the battery several years later could just extend the life by so much. So yeah, it does kind of suck that the premiumness of the device isn't there, but I think it is a fair trade-off to have this repairability aspect to it. Now, one of the biggest selling points of the Clara black and white is this new e-ink Carta 1300 display. Now I do want to clarify something. In my Libra color review, I mentioned how the Libra color and the Clara color are using this new e-ink Carta display as well, but I do have to take that back because I'm not 100% sure if the color devices are using the same display. These new Kobo color devices are using something called Kaleido 3, which is basically a color filter that sits on top of the regular e-ink screen. But long story short, I don't know the science behind it. When you're using a color e-reader, you're not going to get the full look and resolution of that e-ink screen because you have an extra filter sitting on top of it. On the Clara black and white, there is no extra filter sitting on top of the screen, so we get to see this new e-ink Carta 1300 display in all of its glory. This is one of the first e-readers to be using this new display panel. Now, I'm sure with a little bit of time, all the major players in the world of book tech will be adopting this new 1300 display, but for right now, on the Kobo black and white Clara, it is a unique selling point. Now, the Clara black and white does have a 6-inch screen, which is a bit smaller than the Kindle Paperwhite and more comparable to the Kindle Basic, but I have to say, having a small screen is not a problem at all. Having a smaller screen actually makes the device way more portable. The new display is definitely faster than the previous generation. When I put the new Clara black and white side by side with my Clara 2e and began turning some pages in a book, I saw a clear increase in speed, which is something that's really nice because when you're reading, turning pages is something we do all the time. If you're buying an e-reader for the first time or upgrading from a device that is several years old, you will definitely enjoy this perk of having a speedy device. It's a huge quality of life improvement, but if you already have a device like the Clara 2e, it probably isn't worth a speed improvement just by itself. It's nice to have, but it isn't that much different from the previous generation. In terms of contrast or resolution, I really haven't seen much of a difference when you put the device side by side with the previous model. Again, I think the Clara 2e has a bit more of a wider screen, whereas the new Clara black and white has a different kind of hue to it. It's such a subtle difference though, and you really can't tell unless you put devices side by side like this. Like I've been saying, I think the Clara black and white is a great option at a great price for a lot of people. You're going to get all the major features that you need, but if you do want to look into a color e-reader, check out my review of the Libra Color. That device is a bit more premium and you get some more features out of it like handwriting, notes, and stuff like that. Link for that review on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.